It's been a long time since I made a video like one of these. I'm going to give it a shot and see how it goes. The point of this video is to talk about the difference between a judgment and then a rejection and abandonment when it applies to people with avoidant personality disorder. The first two things, judgment and rejection, are really important and major motivators to people with avoidant personality disorder, but abandonment isn't, basically because it's inevitable. And what's the point in worrying about something that's definitely going to happen? Just to define them real quick, even though it's unnecessary, I'm sure. A judgment is somebody's opinion. And usually in sort of vernacular, judgment is considered a negative thing, but for people with avoidant personality disorder, it doesn't matter. They react to positive and negative almost exactly the same. And the reason is because say you get a positive reaction. It's just a matter of time before you get the opposite and you get a negative reaction. So if somebody's making judgments about you, eventually they're going to be negative. And if they're making judgments and they're a negative judgment about you because the self-esteem and self-worth is so low, they think that a negative judgment is automatically a rejection. That means they're going, why would somebody bother with hanging out with somebody who isn't interested in, doing something that they perceive as an okay type of thing. And then when somebody has been rejected, now in my case, I always try to point out when something is really clearly, obviously sort of an extreme on the spectrum. For me, I have a real issue with, I just don't think people change their minds. So once somebody has rejected me, even if there's a history of somebody rejecting and then changing their mind and coming back, I can't sort of process that in my brain. I think that a rejection is rejection, it's permanent, and I'm not worthy, and they're out. Because, again, abandonment is inevitable. It's, once you're rejected, they're gone. You're gone. Whoever it is, gone, out, done. Sorry, my hand. So there's no point in worrying about it. It's like it's a given, and that is the problem. That's why it's such a big issue for people with avoidant personality disorders. It sort of works like dominoes. Once you get judged, even if it's positive, that means that next step is the rejection, and once the rejection comes, there is the abandonment. And that is so extreme that I've heard of people who are really, really upset because they feel like they have to reject people and abandon them themselves because once somebody has started doing judgments, once they've changed how they're interacting with you, then next is the rejection, and then next is the abandonment. So why hang around and wait for what's going to happen? It's inevitable. They're going to abandon you, so you may as well just cut to the chase and get it done and over with. And they'll be really upset because they had to leave somebody they didn't really want to, but that's why they had to leave, because they know that something's changed. I got to get out of here before, I get rejected. At least, I'm not blindsided. Which is also another extreme thing. I personally don't do that. I will wait until the last second. But again, I don't think people are going to change. So there we go. So that's why those three things, that's why they're different, but they feel the same. Once you've had a judgment, it feels like the abandonment is just right there, because they are like dominoes. They go right down 1, 2, 3. I've been judged, therefore I will next be rejected, and then I will be abandoned, because there's no point in hanging around somebody who is a reject. That's an awful way of putting it, but seriously. So those are, that's sort of informational, but they are three different things, and I hope that you recognize that they are three different things, and that they can therefore, you can say, okay, well, I have just been judged. That doesn't mean I've been rejected. And you really have to pay attention. It's like against every bit of your, instinct to do that, to not just go, oh, okay, well, here comes the next, and live as if it's already happened. Because of course there is the part of being avoidant where you, they call it an active fantasy life, where you sort of work things out, and in a way that's sort of catastrophizing, and but it's a coping technique that works, because then you're not blindsided. So, but then, you feel like, oh, the writing's on the wall. This is definitely going to happen. I got, somebody gave me a really extreme compliment. Therefore, I can't live up to that standard. Therefore, next, they're going to judge me negatively, because they think I'm supposed to be at this level that I can't maintain. Therefore, they're going to reject me because I'm not living up to the standard that I can't live up to, and that I didn't actually create, but is there now. And oh my goodness, then also, oh, well, I guess I'm abandoned. It's just going to happen. But those are three separate things, and it's really helpful to try to slow down that thought process, and really pay attention to, even though it's so uncomfortable, to pay attention to, I just got judged. That's what it was. That's what I'm reacting to. I'm reacting to the feeling of being judged, but that's somebody's opinion. And that's, their individual opinion. So stop there, because it's just a judgment. It's really uncomfortable to feel judged. It's really uncomfortable to dwell on it. It's actually, in a lot of ways, you get a sense of relief once you go through, bang, bang, bang. Oh, now I'm abandoned. Now I know what's going to happen. The inevitable has happened, and there it is. It happened. Okay, good. Now I can deal with life. I don't have to worry about when is this other shoe going to drop. Okay. So those are those three things, and I think I'll make a follow-up video with something that might help. I don't want to say this is how you deal with this, because that is how you deal with it. How you deal with it is by looking at it carefully, breaking it down, and saying, I am at this level. I have just been rejected. That does not mean I'll be abandoned, but I have been rejected. It's an uncomfortable feeling. That does not mean that inevitably I'm going to be abandoned. Also, you can be rejected and not judged, which is bizarre. It's just like, how? Obviously, if you're rejected, you've been judged, but they are different things. They don't go back, and they don't go forward. They are separate, and trying to keep that in your mind as separate is really important. So I'll make another video with something that's helped me to try to keep those things, from ruminating on them and making them take over. It doesn't work perfectly, and that's why I'm making a separate video.